Content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Video contains strong sexual content and imagery.
Stick around for a titillating and sexy discussion with sexpert Susan Bratton.
Hi, I'm Dennis Vanderginst. Join me in a series of entertaining and interesting conversations with entertaining and interesting people. We'll explore various aspects of the human experience and what makes life more fun. This is Uncommon Convos.
Welcome to Uncommon Convos. I'm your host, Dennis Vanderginst. And before I introduce today's guest, I want to remind you, please subscribe to Uncommon Convos on your favorite podcast platform. It's quick, it's easy, it's free, and you'll get notified every time a new episode drops if you do so. I also want to thank our sponsor, Vanderginst Law. If you're injured on the job or due to the wrongdoing of another, Vanderginst Law would be honored to help. Susan Bratton is the trusted hot sex advisor to millions of people. She's a best-selling author, a speaker, and successful entrepreneur. She's made hundreds of appearances on television, radio, podcasts, and in-person events around the world, teaching people how to have fulfilling sex. She's the co-founder and CEO of two corporations, Personal Life Media, which publishes heart-connected lovemaking techniques and bedroom communication skills, and the 20 LLC, which is a manufacturer of organic and botanical supplements that enhance sexual vitality. This is the second episode with Susan, and we had such a wonderful time the first time. We're going to do it again, but obviously, we're still only going to scratch the surface. But Susan, thank you once again for being here. I look forward to hearing some more of your words of wisdom about sex and sexuality and all the fun things that are attached to all that.
Well, I'm excited that you want to talk about sexual biohacking and erotic play dates because they really go hand in hand. They're kind of two sides of the same coin in a way. Both of them are very much a commitment to your sexual pleasure and satisfaction as you age.
Great.
And when you're young, sex is a novelty. And then as you age, if sex is important to you, you realize that you want to have the best sex possible. And for some people, they maybe had one or two good experiences, so they know that it can be great, but they haven't really achieved their goal of the experiences that they want. For other people, they maybe were in a long-term relationship that wasn't sexually satisfying, and now they're divorced and back out in the market, and they're trying to figure out, how can I have the kind of intimacy and connection that I want? For other couples, they've gotten their kids in school and they finally can take a breather and they want to reconnect intimately and they want to find out how they can have more pleasure. For some people, they realize that their sex life has gotten monotonous and they want to reverse the monotony of monogamy and start having fun again. For other people, they've had health issues and that's impacted their sexuality and they want to understand how they can compromise, work around, or still have intimacy even if they can't do everything they used to. And for others, they're becoming aware that aging does not need to end your sex life. And that for many people, I always say the 60s are the prime decade for the hottest sex of your life. Not that your 70s and 80s can't also be almost as good, but your 60s are better than your 50s, your 40s, your 30s, and your 20s for sex.
Oh, we have so much to look forward to, don't we?
So much. If you take care of your genital systems and health. And so that's why I think having the conversation about sexual biohacking, which is basically how to keep your body and your genitals in good working order so you can have the sex you deserve your whole life long through old age, not just middle age. And I think 60s is middle age at this point, not 40s. Right. Mm-hmm. there's that piece of it, but it's also about incrementing your knowledge and having more fun with your sex life and learning new skills. That really makes a big difference. And so I think that's another piece of it. And they really go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. If your body's not working, you can't, your libido's not going to work, which is why I have a supplement company, because there's a lot of people who feel like their libido is declining as they age. And it's really interesting, but a lot of people think it's their hormones. And in many cases, that is only half or less of the issue. So there's some basic things that happen to us as we age that can be reversed very easily, and people don't know how easily they can fix their problems. And once I say to them, oh, well, you have that problem? Fixable, 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 fixable. And they're like, what? I thought I was stuck with this. And I'm like, no, au contraire. So I'm glad to be addressing that, because without your health, you've got nothing.
And that's the biohacking that you're referencing, right?
Yes.
The supplements. Now, we referenced...
Just supplements.
Pardon me?
Not just supplements.
Not just supplements, right? Yeah. But we did reference, or I did reference during the intro, the 20. Is that the supplement company then that you are CEO of?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me more about what biohacking means in addition to the supplements, and how there's an interplay between the supplements and whatever else is out there to kind of make the body function and able to do what we all want it to do.
Biohacking is, think about it as a part of your anti-aging and longevity strategy. Just like you might take omega fatty acids for your heart health, or a daily vitamin mineral so that you get all your nutrition, or you might go for a run so that you keep a good vascular system, so you have good blood flow and heart health that way. Biohacking is not only the things that you do to stay ageless and to increase your longevity, but it's also, in that category, are what I would consider to be sexual regenerative treatments and therapies. So if you think about a woman's genital system, and you think about a man's genital system, we talked earlier in episode 1 a lot about how erectile tissue is one of the most important aspects. Keeping your erectile tissue in good working order in your genital system so you can feel pleasure and gain and keep and maintain and reverse erectile dysfunction and maintain erectile function. And that women have as much erectile tissue in their vulva as a man does in his penis. And so ED is not an issue for men. ED is an issue for humans. And most people think, oh, it's my hormones. Women think when their libido drops as they age that it's a hormone loss problem. It's actually not, unless testosterone is really the hormone of lust. And testosterone does decline in men and women, and you do need to work on having enough testosterone. Estrogen in women is what keeps our vagina soft and plump and not painful during sex. But there's a third piece, and that is nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gaseous signaling molecule in our body that squeezes our blood vessels and moves our blood around in our body. Our body doesn't have blood everywhere all the time. Our body uses the blood that we have inside it and pumps it to our brain when we're working and thinking, our tummy when we're eating, and our glutes and butt when we're exercising, and our genitals when we're making love. But the thing is that as we age and we get plaque in our arteries, we have difficulty pumping the blood to our genitals. It's the first place that goes. It's the canary in the coal mine. And a part of it is that arterial plaque, both in the male and female body. But another part of it is a loss of nitric oxide. And you can take a supplement for that. So I make a supplement. It's actually, I'll hold it up. It's called Flow. And what's nice about this particular product is it's made from organic fruit and vegetables. And a lot of supplements are made out of corn syrup that's been doused with pesticides and made in a vat in China, and it's a white powder that goes in a capsule, and you're eating all the pesticides, and it's just not a quality product. You want to eat leafy green vegetables. That's what makes your body produce nitric oxide, and none of us eat enough of them. And as we age, by the time we're 50, we have half the nitric oxide we had when we were 20. So we're just not getting the blood flow to the tissue that we need. And often for women, loss of lubrication comes directly from the lack of nitric oxide, not from a hormone disbalance through menopause. And men often deal with problems with semen volume getting lower, so then their orgasm doesn't feel as good. And when you don't have blood flow to your genitals, you have sensation loss, delayed ejaculation, difficulty achieving orgasm. These are things that happen as you age that can be reversed by eating tons of leafy green vegetables. But then if you use an antibacterial mouthwash, your body can't convert the greens into nitric oxide. If you use a proton pump inhibitor, your body can't convert the greens to nitric oxide. So there's millions and millions of people on proton pumps, rinsing their mouth out with Listerine, killing any chance they have of even using the leafy greens and turning them into nitric oxide. So that's why I'm a big kind of champion of getting the blood flow, getting the engorgement so you can feel the pleasure, you can get the lubrication, you can get the semen volume, you can get all of this going again, get the blood flow in. Because blood flow is as important for women as it is for men. That's what Viagra works on. It's a PDE5 inhibitor, which means it opens up the nitric oxide, lets it essentially get more blood into the penis, and it could also for the vulva, but it doesn't work as well for women. So I think that's a very important part. But the other thing that happens is that you have to get rid of that arterial plaque.
Well, Susan, can I interrupt for just a second
Yeah.
before we leave flow?
Sure.
First of all, what if you are suffering either as a male or a female from those types of issues, and you start taking flow as a supplement? What can you expect as far as when are you going to see a difference? How soon, and how how vivid a difference are you going to see?
Everybody's completely different. And all I can say, and you're a lawyer and you know this, is that the supplement supports a healthy nitric oxide production. That's all I can claim.
And that's fair enough. And along those similar lines, just so the audience is aware, supplements like this do not have to be FDA approved.
Right.
And we in the prior episode, we talked about the fact that you're not a medical doctor, but you obviously know your stuff. You obviously have derived expertise from a number of different sources regarding everything that you advocate and espouse, whether it is with the not counseling, but the presentations that you give on sexuality, and now, of course, we're talking about supplements. Where does a person derive that information? How is it that you came to champion this company and create, even the idea, let alone the products that the 20 produce?
Yeah. Well, I've been studying for over a decade. I've been studying genital anatomy systems, and I read a ton of medical literature and clinical data. And I realized that people weren't seeing a positive effect on their libido with just hormone replacement. And not everyone wants to do hormone replacement. For many people, it's too expensive to get exogenous testosterone or exogenous estrogen or what have you. And many of my programs teach genital pleasuring and massage. And that really is a make or break for people, and their sexual pleasure is when they get plenty of genital massage from their partner or give it to themselves. And as I got into understanding sexuality more and more, I realized that nitric oxide production was this missing piece that everyone was just unaware of because no one was thinking about erectile tissue engorgement. And I had learned about erectile tissue engorgement almost 20 years ago from one of my mentors, Dr. Patty Taylor, who has a PhD in female orgasm. And she was really the one who explained to me about engorgement. And so I had that lucky opportunity to be mentored by someone who really understood the physiology of libido and desire and arousal. And that's what set me in motion to realizing it. And then when I started trying to figure out how I could help people have more satisfying sex, I realized that a nitric oxide supplement and a libido supplement could do a lot for people. And so when we made Flow as an example, and we have a product also called Desire, which is a daily multivitamin, multi-mineral supplement that has a libido botanical built right in. So you kind of take your one a day with a little something more. That gets your libido botanical in there, which also helps support many of the different systems for desire and arousal. And that 1-2 punch put a lot of, taking Flow with Desire, stacking them. That's one of the things you hear in sexual biohacking is this notion of stacks. Whether it's a stack of nootropics like brain cognition supplements, or it's a stack where you're taking MCT oil and doing keto and, eating lean proteins that are pasture raised. That's a stack. That's a nutrition stack. There's supplement stacks. And then there's stacks for sexual genital regenerative treatments, which I want to talk to you about. But often you can't fix a problem with a single thing. And sometimes it takes a couple of pieces to fix the atrophy of aging. That's what we're really talking about here is when we talk about sexual biohacking, we talk about taking things like a nitric oxide supplement, taking exogenous testosterone, or taking or building up your own testosterone by doing heavy lifting and eating leafy greens and doing all the things that you need to do to build your testosterone. This is a stack. It's a collection of things that additively are synergistic to driving more pleasure and desire. So I got into it by that very early understanding that sexual pleasure comes from blood flow. And how do you get the blood flow to your genitals? The nitric oxide system. So, and that we lose nitric oxide at the same rate we lose our hormones, and that hormones weren't the solution, they were a part of the stack. And so that's where I ended up. And then I looked at all the nitric oxide products and I thought, boy, they're made from crap. I don't want to sell these to my people. They rely on me to sell them the clean things because I'm such a healthy, organic person myself. And that's when I decided that I wanted to make my own and make it available. And I'll tell you, men tell me that they can, a lot of guys, what they do is they take Flow every day and then they take 2 capsules before lovemaking. And then they can microdose or mini dose their Viagra instead of taking 60 milligrams or 100 milligrams and waking up with a hangover and a stuffy nose and all of the things that come with Viagra. They can take a lot less because they're supporting their own healthy blood flow. A lot of guys are off Viagra now because they're getting enough of their own endogenous nitric oxide from supplementation. And then women have problems with thinning vaginal tissue and lubrication. The vagina is not a gland. It's not self-lubricating. The way the vagina works, it actually requires your blood plasma to flow into your pelvic bowl and seep through the many layers. There's 3 main layers of the vagina, but there's many layers of the epithelial tissue. And the blood flow comes from your blood plasma and seeps through and weeps into the walls of the vagina to make you wet. And though vaginal wetness is not an equal correlation with turn on, she might be wet and not turned on. She might be turned on and not wet. When a woman is wet, she just feels more turned on. She feels like her body is working better. And she has to use less lubricant, or she can be more confident in her own ability to provide that wetness. And then when her tissue can expand with the nitric oxide, it creates more pleasure and sensation. So sex is better. So it was just a real no-brainer for me to put my name on a high quality product that my fans and followers could buy from me. And the Desire botanical system works really well for people, because a lot of people, they wanted me to give them a libido botanical, but I knew they weren't even getting their daily vitamins and minerals. And I thought to myself, well, they're not going to be healthy without a daily vitamin mineral complex. So I'll make a really good one. Because what's interesting is that about 30% of adults they have a genetic anomaly called MTHFR. And that SNP means they're poor methylators, which means they can't absorb B vitamins. And you need B vitamins for hair growth, for good skin, for energy production, for production of ATP. You need B vitamins in your Krebs cycle to produce the ATP that is required to give you energy, including sexual stamina. And if they were getting vitamins that they couldn't absorb, which is what most vitamins are, pretty much all the vitamins out there have unabsorbable B vitamins like folic acid, which builds up in your system and becomes toxic if you have this MTHFR genetic anomaly, which a third of people do. And so I wanted to create something that was a super high quality daily vitamin that had the libido botanicals right in it. And I studied libido botanicals for many, many years, tested many, many different products. And I found that there are really 5 that move the needle. One of them is fenugreek. One of them is tongkat, and one of them is Tribulus terrestris. But the thing, and then the other 2 are maca and cacao. Cacao is chocolate, dark chocolate, very good for blood flow. You need a lot of maca and cacao, and I can't put them into a daily vitamin, but I can put Tribulus, fenugreek, and tongkat in vitamins. But with herbs, when you take libido herbals, if you take them all the time, your body acclimates to them, adjusts to them, and they lose their efficacy. So my Desire product is actually 3 different bottles. This is a 90-day supply, and you essentially herb cycle. So there's the vitamin mineral is in every capsule. You take 2 a day in the morning, and then you get all your B's, you've got your energy, you're getting what you need to produce your own hormones, and then you've got the botanical on top. And it doesn't matter what order you take them in, but you cycle through it. So the first 30 days you take one, the second 30 days you take the third 30 days you take and then you just start over. And these are made for people across the gender spectrum. This is for male and female bodies, and it's the right thing for a couple to take together, which is what I wanted to keep it simple. And so this has been a super helpful product line for many, many people who needed both nutrition support as well as libido support. And then I just want to close off with that, because I actually also carry in my store 3 products for men made by my friend Dr. Judson Brandeis. Judd makes prelong, which helps with premature ejaculation and mood. There's a lot of men who have a lot of sexual anxiety, and they feel like they come too fast. And Judd made this. He's a board certified urologist, and he did as good a job as I could have done. So why do I want to reinvent the wheel?
Sure.
This is a really good product. Support T for testosterone support is a very good supplement. It has DIM and a number of other things that no other testosterone product have in them in a really nice ratio, that actually you can do blood serum, testosterone, pre and post, and see how much just supporting your own testosterone production systems can improve your overall testosterone numbers. And then spunk is another issue where guys have prostates. So what women suffer from is loss of lubrication, loss of sensation, difficulty achieving orgasm, painful sex, and incontinence. Men also, they start to gain incontinence. They get up and pee all night. They feel like they can't drink water after 3 o'clock. They have trouble with the urine flow, and that's because the urethra runs through the prostate. The prostate is the gland that makes the semen, and the urethra runs through it. And as the prostate gets inflamed, then it tightens that little channel, and they have urination issues. So spunk is the thing that helps with BPH, at benign hyperstatic. Oh, I always get this wrong. It's a long word, and I should have memorized it better. But BPH is the thing guys get. And so this product from Spunk, from Judd, seems to really help with guys with pee issues. And then that helps with their prostate. It helps them with their semen production, because that's what the prostate gland does, is it mixes the sperm and the semen together, and it's the muscle that squeezes the ejaculation out. So when it gets beleaguered, men's ejaculatory function suffers. So these are all the things that happen as you age, and they are reversible. But there's a big one that also happens, and that is atrophy. And I want to talk about that because when you're talking about sexual biohacking, what you're really doing in a lot of cases, in addition to supporting hormone and nitric oxide production and blood flow and heart health, is reversing the atrophy of aging in your genital system. And it's pretty easy to do, and I have some things to show you.
Well, I want to see them, but before you show those, I have another question. The company that manufactures, produces, and distributes these products for you is called the 20, correct?
Yes.
Now, in the first episode when we spoke, you referenced 20 different orgasms. Is that what the 20 is referring to?
No, it's so funny, Dennis. I sat down one day and I was like, how many different kinds of orgasms can a body have? How many can men have if you're a penis owner? How many can women have if you're a vulva owner? And I just started listing them all off. And it turns out that there are 20. There's just a lot of different kinds of orgasms we can have. There's orgasms that are the location that you touch.
Sure.
Then there's orgasms that are techniques, mental and physical techniques, whether that's erotic hypnosis or expanded orgasm or female ejaculation or things like that. They're stroking techniques or pleasuring techniques. And then there's the third category of orgasms that comes from objects. And objects could be pleasure toys of all different kinds. It could be a fetish of some kind that particularly turns you on, like high heels. And so there's 3 categories of orgasm, and within that fall out 20 different types of orgasms that you can have.
Well, but is that what the company's name comes from, the 20?
No. Because
Okay.
The 20 comes from the 80-20 rule, Pareto's principle, which is 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort.
Right.
If you just
Right.
knew the 20% that was actually creating the results you want, you could get rid of the 80% that was just
Right.
crap. And
Gotcha.
that's what I wanted for my supplements. Was I wanted the 20% that worked, which is why there's tons of different libido botanicals out there. But there's only those 5 that make a difference.
Right.
So I'm
Okay.
actually putting maca and cacao in an energy bar, a sexual energy bar, so you can get enough of that material, because I couldn't fit it in a supplement. I couldn't
Right.
fit it in a capsule. So then you get all 5 from me. So that's a new product that we're launching, is the Desire Sexual Vitality Bar. So these 5 libido supplements are the only ones that have had both indigenous ancestral wisdom and clinical human data. All
Right.
the other crap people are selling doesn't have any data behind it. So I like indigenous ancestral wisdom. Our forebears knew what they were doing. We didn't get
Absolutely.
here. We got here on the shoulders of giants, our human race. But I like the clinical data too. So that's how we got to the 5. And then we got to that 80-20, the Pareto principle. And the 20 is the 20% that gets results.
Well, I'm glad you explained that, because when you referenced the 20 in the prior episode, with respect to the 20 different orgasms, I just presumed that there was some kind of correlation between that and the supplement company. So I'm glad to have a better understanding of that.
How great did it work out? 20
It
orgasms
did.
and the 20.
Perfect, right? You couldn't have written a better script.
I also wanted to tell you that it's benign, prostatic, hyperplasia, BPH. That's what it
Gotcha.
stands for, that I was talking about with spunk, which is the nighttime urinary issues
Right.
that affects so many men. And, one of the things about men is you guys are horrible about going to the doctor. Us women have to make you go. And so a lot of guys aren't aware of, oh, I could support my testosterone with a supplement. Oh, I could help my premature ejaculation with a supplement. Oh, I could help my BPH with a supplement. I want guys to be thinking about healthy foods, exercise, and supplementation before they're into the pharmaceuticals and they're getting their prostates reamed out and God, let's not go there, right?
Right.
So let's reverse the problems before you have to go to pharmaceuticals. You have to be stuck, and then you're 60 or 70 or 80 years old and you're starting to take this, and then 5 more, and then you've got this whole thing of pills, and your whole life is pills, and you don't want to get there.
Right. So are there other supplements that you wanted to talk about, or you had mentioned that there are other biohacking efforts that we should be aware of?
Yeah, I want to go into a couple of other things. Now, one of the first things that I want to talk about is for the woman. I used to have to send women who had painful sex, thinning vaginal tissue, to get treatments like FemiLift, Mona Lisa, Vivive, Viora. There are many different things that women can do that use RF devices and CO2 lasers intravaginally in doctors' offices to remodel the vaginal mucosal layers to generate more collagen and more lubrication and production. But they can be pretty intense and expensive. And I was always wishing there was an at-home device, because I have an at-home device for men for their problems, and I didn't have one for women until this wonderful women's company came into the world called Joy Lux and created this product called the VFit Gold. And the VFit Gold is an intravaginal device that is an at-home FDA Class 2 vaginal restoration device that helps with incontinence, which women have, as well as with vaginal lubrication and toning of the vagina. Because as the vagina as it ages, it loses its elasticity and the tissue thins and it gets laxity, it gets open, and it loses its grip. And as the penis ages, it shrinks from the loss of tissue, so you get penile atrophy. So he's getting smaller and she's getting bigger, and it just doesn't feel as good anymore. So this particular device uses 3 technologies. It uses photobiomodulation, which is red light therapy. You can see I'm holding it up on our video. I'm holding the VFit, and this red light therapy is what generates more mitochondrial stimulation to develop more cells in your vaginal mucosal layer, builds more tissue. What it also does is it uses warmth to recollagenate the tissue, and it uses vibration to give it Kegel toning. So it helps with vaginal scent, odor. It helps with tightening. It helps with laxity. It helps with tissue volume. It helps with incontinence. And you can do it yourself at home every other day for 10 minutes. And it feels good. It's not a sex toy, but it feels good. And it helps reverse that atrophy of aging and fix the problems that most women have as they age. So that's what I have for women. And for men, what I have is a vacuum erection device, which is essentially a penis pump where you use a cylinder. And I'm going to show you 2 cylinders. You use a cylinder. I've got a freshie here.
While she's doing that, I want to remind everybody, you're going to want to check out the video so you can see exactly what she is showing us. So go to uncommonconvos.com or vlaw.com and you'll be able to catch the videos of this episode.
So this is a product called the Whopper. And the Whopper is 2, and I've got a bigger device here too that your penis and your testicles go in. This is for men, and this uses vacuum, a suction. You attach this to the top here, and you pump it up. And essentially, we've been talking a lot about blood flow. Have you ever talked more about blood flow?
I don't know, and I'll say that the Whopper is kind of intimidating. If there's a bigger one than that, then
that one's big because you have to get everything in there. You
I
got
got
your testicles in there too, so it has to fit around the base. But there's many different size cylinders, and you get your custom fitted. You get your size. You measure your penis and you order your cylinders, and every other day for about 13 weeks. And many men are able to reverse their erectile dysfunction and actually reverse that tissue loss. The pump, when you pull in the blood and you pump the blood into the penis and you hold that blood in there for about 10 minutes, it increases the blood carrying capacity. It stimulates new tissue and nerve growth because men also have sensation loss as they age. And it helps you gain a stronger base of your penis. But also, if you use the 2-cylinder system, it actually lengthens and increases girth of the penile volume. So you're getting more penile volume, more blood carrying capacity, more erectile function. The number one issue that men deal with in erectile dysfunction is called venous leak. The vascular system, which we've been talking so much about, they're stretchy tubes. And when the blood comes into the penis and runs in during arousal, it actually needs to fill up and lock off to hold the blood in. But most guys start getting bendy and the blood runs out. They can't keep the blood in, and that's where they get a flagging erection. So the penis pump is the first line of defense for men who are trying to reverse erectile dysfunction. So I have a lot of couples where he pumps and she uses her VFit, and they just lie there and do it together and watch TV. They're committed to their sexual health, and they do it together. It's like a couple's project. And then for men, what I like to do is I like to stack on either a Gainswave or the Phoenix Pro. Gainswave is you go to the doctor and they do 6 treatments and they use this device that knocks the plaque off the penile arteries and stimulates the tissue growth. You can combine it, stack it with the penis pump. And that's fantastic. But there's also, let me grab it. There's also an at-home device now for men. Hang on, I got to slide across my office. I got wheels. Look, this is my giant bag of sex devices. I got a Phoenix Pro in here. Oh, Crappers McGee, is it not in here? Where is it? Hang on, it's got to be on my desk somewhere. Where is that sucker? Oh, I don't know. It might have meandered into the other room. I wish I could show it to you. Let me look one more time.
Okay, take your time. We'll just look at the background and imagine all the toys and equipment that must be around there somewhere.
My desk is covered with toys. I have so many things to show you. But no, I don't know where my Phoenix Pro went, darn it. But the Phoenix Pro is an at-home device that delivers that shockwave therapy that you can do yourself. Because not every guy lives in a market that has a Gainswave doctor. And some guys are just like, give me the damn tool, I'm going to do it myself. And so you can do it yourself or you can have it done for you. But the penis pump with the Phoenix Pro or the Gainswave is a fantastic sexual biohacking stack that gives you that penis or the vulva for us women. It's like we're 30 again instead of 60. I mean, it's just incredible how little effort it takes to really get your genitals functioning. Take your nitric oxide, take your desire vitamins, do your pumping or your VFit, add on the treatments if you want to, and you will reverse aging, and you will literally get out of the shower and catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and be like, is that mine? Whoa. And your wife will be like, this is nice. You know, it's fantastic what you can do these days.
Are those, by the way, available through the 20?
Yes. I'll give you
Okay.
links to everything because
Okay.
that's another thing that I do. I always negotiate discounts because I talk about all this stuff. So it's either
Sure.
you get a gift or you get, with Phoenix Pro, $500 off. I've got a couples package. So I've got all that stuff. I'll get that to you for underneath the videos. Yeah, don't pay
Great.
full price. Use Dennis's
Great.
link.
All right. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to leave this prematurely. Don't want to do anything prematurely.
Right. We'll have to get you some prelong.
Yeah. I have to be careful about how you phrase things during this discussion, I'm realizing. But in any event, we do want to talk about erotic play dates.
Yes.
Is this a good time to move on to that?
Perfect.
Then let's
Your
do
masculine sexual leadership is excellent, Dennis.
that. Thank you so much. You all heard that right here.
Yeah, because it's actually a natural segue. Because one of the things that I want to talk about is that it is so much fun to learn new things together in the bedroom. And there's so many things you can learn. Whether you're just having fun and learning about sensual massage. Remember, I think we started off the very first episode this morning talking about my Steamy Sex Ed video collection.
We did.
And how there's 8 videos in here and you can follow along and do what you see to your partner and increment your skills. That's really fun. There's also learning things like beginning an expanded orgasm practice, doing G-spot awakening, or learning how to have a blended prostate penis orgasm if you're a male-bodied person. There's a lot of really fun things you can do together, whether that's new sex positions, sex in a new location, working on your oral pleasuring techniques, learning, you said 69 in the first podcast, learning how to...
I was referencing my age, but it's not my age, but
There's just a lot of techniques, and then there's a lot of toys that can be really fun to use, and I've got a few that I want to show you. Because I think that, I always have this saying, couples that play together stay together, especially in the bedroom. And when you just do the same old things, you're not learning anything new, you're not developing new relationship energy, it's just boring. And there's so many things you can learn and do together. Lingerie fashion shows, sexy dancing. There's just tons of things that you can do. And one of the things, I do a lot of primary research. I'm lucky. I have a very big audience of fans and followers. And I do surveys and get thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of responses from people. And one of the things that couples tell me that they're the worst at is incorporating sex toys into lovemaking. People think that sex toys are a thing that you use in solo pleasuring. But there are so many good products that are really nice for solo pleasuring, and I have a couple I wanted to show you. Sound good?
Absolutely.
Okay, so since we were on the sexual biohacking piece and we were talking about erectile dysfunction, guys getting a little bendy, one of my favorites is from a company called Hot Octopus, and this is called the, this is not the Atom. This is called, I'll have to think about what it's called. I don't know why they don't put it in really big letters on here. This uses pulse plate technology, and it's essentially really good for men who are feeling like they're not hard enough for penetration, but you still want to have missionary position sex. This is essentially a sleeve that can feel really good for solo pleasuring, but it also has this pulse plate technology that feels really good on a semi-erect or even flaccid penis. And what's nice is that it has a vibrator for him, basically, this pulse plate, and it has a vibrator for her on the top. So he can surround his penis, she can get on top of him, and then she has a remote control, which she can use to manage the intensity of this sit on top kind of saddle that has vibration for her. So he's being pleasured while she's being pleasured. And this is a couple's toy for when you haven't quite brought back your erectile function yet. And most people are like, I had no idea where there was anything like this. And this is just a really great product from Hot Octopus.
So it converts the man into a Sibian
That's
in a
exactly
way.
what it does.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And men love to watch their lady have orgasms. They just love that. And he can be looking her in the eyes. He can be worshiping and adoring her. He can be playing with her breasts and nipples while she's on top of him. And that's just a really nice, intimately connected moment of lovemaking with some great extra stimulation that you might not be getting anymore because you think, oh, well, we can't have sex because I can't get hard. And it's like, well, sex is so much more than just having intercourse. And that's probably a good time for me to give away another free resource I have, which is called the Magic Pill Method. It's at magicpillmethod.com. And if you have had any kind of health issues, it doesn't have to be sexual health issues, any kind of health issues, this is a really good structured exercise. It's free. It's a structured exercise you do with your partner to come up with the list of things you still can do together so that you can you can create a list of things that are still really pleasurable for you. So you don't just give up on your sex life just because you can't get a hard on. Go get Gains Waves, get a Phoenix Pro, get a penis pump, do that. But while you're remediating, get back in the saddle and start having fun. So that's at magicpillmethod.com. Very good at, if your partner has had a health issue and you're not having sex anymore, this is how you get back in the saddle. So that's number one. Number two product that I think is really nice, and there's two, and that is using some kind of a penis ring during lovemaking. And it depends on whether, if you're having delayed ejaculation or delayed sensation, this Atom Pulse Duo is a very good one. It's 2 vibrators and it goes down onto the penis and it stimulates her at the top and it stimulates him under the perineum. It also is from Hot Octopus and has a remote control. And it's very, very nice, and it stretches. You can get your junk in there. Don't worry. You can get it all in there, no matter how big you are. It's quite nice, and this has very nice vibe for him and her. But if you feel like, oh, that would make me, finish too fast, then I like this from the Fun Factory. It's called the Nos, N-O-S, and this is a fantastic toy to buy your wife. And guys email me all the time, I want to get a sex toy for my wife. What should I get? And my first question is, are you getting this for her for solo pleasuring, or are you getting this for intercourse or for lovemaking? And they're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Well, what do you recommend? And I have different things for her for solo pleasuring, which you really want to encourage your wife to solo pleasure as much as possible because that's getting her blood flowing as much as she can, which means she'll be more, it's like free foreplay done for you. So you want your wife, you want to give her the space to do that. But for lovemaking, this is a penis ring that works really well. It does not crush that corpus spongiosum under here, and it helps you maintain some erectile rigidity. And then these little ears are like the rabbit for her clitoral sensitivity, so she can manage the sensation herself. And this has 5 speeds, and it also has 5 patterns, which a body really likes. And this is a fun product to incorporate into lovemaking, but it also can be handheld. And it's nice because you can hold on to it if it's slippery. And she can apply this to her clitoral area while you're making love to her and be in control of it, or you can wear it and she can be on, controlling it on you. So to me, this is the #1 best sex toy any couple can add to their toy chest today, is this Nos. And my fans have loved this product. It's super popular, really nice gift, small and compact, very discreet, and just has a wonderful rumbly motor. So I have 20 or 30 different sex toys that I recommend for various reasons. But in this conversation today, these are the 3 that I really wanted to highlight for you as things that increase blood flow, increase pleasure, and give you something new to do when it is I can tell you it's past time to try something new in the bedroom. That ship has already sailed. Now you just need to figure out what you want to do. And I'll close with, I have a free ebook called 7positions.com. The number 7positions.com, 7 stimulating sex positions, where I give you 7 new sex positions that stimulate multiple erogenous zones at the same time. Start there. And in that, it shows how to introduce sex toys into lovemaking. It's free, it's illustrated, the couples are clothed, you can read it together, you can decide which ones look fun, you can try them all. But if there's anything to do, it's to try new sex positions. And I am a big believer in pillows and props. So get all the pillows in your whole house and bring them into the bedroom so that you can be comfortable as you're making love. Because your knees get tired, your elbows get tired, your wrists get tired, you need to be moving around, but propping can really help.
Well, Susan, I love everything that you've had to say. I think at some point we need to explore some of the other things that are maybe on the outer limits, the taboo sex type of things that are probably a little bit more difficult for people to talk about. Couples that may have some interest in exploring, introducing multiple partners, things like S&M or exhibitionism or things like that. I'd really be interested at some point to get your take on some of that as well. But I know that I have monopolized your time long enough today, so I want to thank you once again for all your wonderful words of wisdom. And once again, please tell us where everyone should look to find those words of wisdom, to get your books, to order the supplements, to order these products. Where should they go?
Well, I will send you a list of links of everything we've talked about. I hope we can all remember what they were, so we'll get everything for you. But all roads lead to Rome at my main website, which is personallifemedia.com. Personallifemedia, all one word, .com. You can use the search box to search on anything I've talked about, and you will find articles on it and links to things, etc., etc. All my videos are at betterlover.com. And we talked about the magic pill method. We talked about 7 positions. And there's one other thing I want to give you, which is this book. It's called Pump Guide. It goes over over 40,000 copies of this have been downloaded. It's a free PDF form of it. You can get it on Amazon, but why pay when you can get it for free? Just go to pumpingguide.com and it'll explain the vacuum erection device, the Gaines Wave, the Phoenix Pro, the nitric oxide, the Desire, something, like everything about the penis. And then if you're interested in the vagina, vaginalrejuvenationbook.com has links to all my videos and explains everything I was talking about. So Those are 2 more for the sexual biohacking that I think might be helpful for your viewers and listeners. So thank you so much for having me, Dennis. I really appreciate your open mind and your courage to really get into the things that people need to hear about. So thank you.
Well, and I appreciate that and appreciate everything you do, Susan. Drew, our producer, will make sure that we have the links all listed on uncommonconvos.com as well as vlaw.com. So be sure you check that out. Thank you all for listening. When you're checking that out, you can also check out the video version of this episode and all of our episodes. Also make sure that while you are checking out Uncommon Convos, you also consider subscribing to our other podcast, Legal Squeaks, for the latest in consumer and legal news that might impact your daily life. So until next week, please be careful out there, be safe, have a great day, and I love you all.